can you build a component or a page of your FlutterFlow app, export it, and embed it inside a Flutter app classic?
Yeah, you can. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. And in fact, we're trying to make that even easier. We're trying to make it into a kind of happy path where you could export your FlutterFlow project as like a package that you would use and consume in any apps, or that you could maybe use in other FlutterFlow projects itself. So possible right now. I haven't personally done that myself, so I'd be curious to hear what the issues are that you run into with going through that workflow. But it's definitely a path we're working on making even easier.
So please try it and give some feedback to Leigha.
Yes.
So Guillaume is asking, can FlutterFlow detect which is the most optimized widget that you should be using? For example, using a single child scroll view or a custom scroll view or something else. How is it possible to optimize? Is it optimizing?
We've definitely done our best to optimize the widgets that we're offering. So we're really focused more on kind of like the business aspect. What are the common types of UI that you want to create in an app? And then we'll research, Flutter and Dart best practices to make sure that our default configurations are putting your app in the best spot possible. But I think a lot of that also has to do with the settings that you're using inside of FlutterFlow and what widgets you're adding or any custom code. So in general, we do our best to make sure that the default option is as optimized as possible, but a lot of it's up to you to kind of configure.
What do you think is the maximum team size for collaborating on a FlutterFlow project?
That's a great question. So right now, we're really focusing a lot of our attention on branching. And I think branching is so key to working on a project at scale. Right now, there are a couple of known issues with branching. So I wouldn't recommend FlutterFlow for a huge team. But I would say check back in a couple of weeks or months because we have lots of exciting branching stuff coming out soon.
Weeks even?
Yes. Oh,
awesome.
Stuff is coming out. Today is Wednesday, right? Tomorrow, more branching stuff is coming out.
So hours.
Hours.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you manage automatic golden tests?
We don't right now, but that's actually something that we've talked about because we have this cool opportunity where we have a preview of what you think your project should work or should look like. So I do think it's something that we'll do later down the line, but it's not something we're doing right now.
Can you actually use FlutterFlow while you are offline?
So right now, no. And I know this is kind of frustrating, especially because we have a desktop app. And even myself, I opened up the desktop app and I was like, great, I don't have Wi-Fi, and was kind of disappointed when I realized it didn't work. Again, I think it's something we'd love to do longer term, but it's just not set up to work right now.
Are tests also automatically generated?
Tests are not automatically generated, but we do have testing capabilities where you're able to set up integration tests, which is actually quite nice. It's kind of easier to do in a user interface, I think. You can also set up unit tests for things like custom functions that you create where you set up what you think the expected value should be. So we have some testing capabilities. They're not automatically set up, and I think there's lots of room for improvement, like golden tests or maybe anticipating what types of tests you should create.
Right.
Maybe one last
more question. Yeah.
Has FlutterFlow been able to reduce the amount of duplicated generated code?
So I think a lot of the duplication actually comes from the structure of your app. I gave a really good example where when I first created that page, I was just copying and pasting some widgets. FlutterFlow is not going to detect automatically, hey, you copied this, I need to create a class. You have to be the one to create a component which makes it into a reusable class. So it's similar to writing code. If you copy and paste it, that code is going to be duplicated. But if you create a reusable class and use that in multiple places, that's not duplicated. That just creates a class in your code base.
Awesome. All right.
All right. There are
lots of questions.
So many more questions, but we don't have time, so we'll definitely share them to you so that you can give the community some answers.
Will do, and I'll be around, so come find me and we can talk about FlutterFlow.
Thank you very much, Leigha.
Thank you.